This day started out like every other day. Charlie had just rescued some little baby mice and I was helping her feed them, trying to teach her how to do these things correctly. It was a fun morning, it was a normal morning, we didn't expect anything to be different, but this day would turn out to be very different from every other day. I'm sure everybody thinks we're a little bit mad for trying to raise these baby mice, but Charlie had rescued them and I promised to help her. It was a good way to teach her how to feed really small mammals, which is quite tricky and hard.
Get it. And then you let go.
One of the benefits of lockdown is the crazy games that you can come up with, and we were having so much fun. Nobody looked at the horizon and you noticed the really big dark clouds starting to build up. You must go much further back here. Right, okay.
Ah, Johnny! Ah! Come!
This was a freak storm that came out of nowhere and the power was incredible. It did so much damage, I cannot even begin to explain it.
Tiger, come away from the windows, please.
Okay. Pushing down the fences, pushing down the food.
There goes the electricity. It's hail, it's not pushing down.
Yeah, it's pushing down the fence, look.
Yeah, but there.
The storm intensified minute by minute and eventually I had to put down the camera and get everybody to safety. It was getting bad. It was still hailing lightly when we headed out to go try and check on the lines and make sure that everything was okay. The roads had disappeared, there was hail everywhere and it looked like something out of a fictional storybook. I'd never seen something like this before.
It flows past our lodge. It's also flowing through the line camp, so we're going to check that quickly. Found the white lines. You can hear that lightning in the back there. Had a massive storm here, just suddenly out of nowhere. Came, blew everything down. Luckily our fences are still okay. There's just one place behind me you can see where the fence damaged it a bit. I can't find the lions, but the hail was incredible. I'm trying to find the white lions now. Hope they're still in here because these things are not hand raised, they're not friendly, so they do pose a potential danger if they're out. So let's see if we can find them. There's trees everywhere. Come. Hey guys, what was that? Hey? What was that? It was like a hurricane. White lions in the snow. First time white lion camouflage actually works.
Once the storm had passed and the sun came out, there was a brief period of excitement at seeing all the things that were happening, and then we realized how much trouble we actually were in.
We have a river through the lion camp. I was told this river never ever ever will flow again. It's dammed up. It's flowed.
The ice started melting and the river level started picking up. It was an eerie feeling seeing icy water flowing with mist coming off it. But then the level started to get serious and the river became a real problem. Totally destroyed sections of the lion camp fence, and I realized we need to get help as soon as we can. The lions were even starting to notice that there was something up. They could hear the river flowing through their camp and I could see the interest that was peaking in them. As soon as that water stopped flowing, they were going to go and investigate and find the holes through the fences. So I decided to try and go and get help, but as luck would have it, everything was going wrong. I had gone through massive bumps in the beginning of the storm and I'd knocked the battery loose, so I couldn't start the car. Luckily I was able to fix that, but we had to make a plan to try and get to our signal spot. Our Wi-Fi connection had been knocked down by the storm and our only means of our communication is to drive to a spot on the reserve to make a phone call. This was also impossible because all our exit routes were flooded, and even trying to drive through the bush there were trees and other things that were blocking our way, and at some point we just had to take the cars off-road and make a route through the bush as best we could to get to the signal point. But we found that the signal point was not great either. It looked like a disaster zone. You can see there's not one leaf on a tree. Water had been rushing over massive areas. There was hail everywhere. Fences were damaged. It really felt like we were in a kind of a movie.
The line camps are busy breaking down because all the ice is flooding down from it. And all the water from the big storms are just pushing the fence and breaking down the fence of lions in.
And how much daylight have we got left?
2 hours. 3 hours.
1
hour.
We've got 1 hour to fix these fences, and then hopefully there's no more rain tonight until we can get hold of a vet tomorrow, eh?
Yeah.
We were going to have to fix this problem ourselves. There wasn't enough people to come out and help us in terms of vets to dart them and helicopters if we needed them on standby. So today we were going to do the work ourselves. I got a lot of extra meat and we fed the lions as much giraffe as we could, just to make them fat and lazy and give us more time to work on the fence without them disturbing us. The idea was to find as much old fencing material as I could. We had taken down a few fences in the area and it was rolled up in piles. And what we were going to do is just pack this fencing on all the holes to stop the lions from getting out. That would give us time then to fix the electric fencing, and then we could relax for the night. But I knew from the beginning this was going to be a mission. This was not going to be done in a couple of hours. And thank goodness for all the people that did step in and help us again. It was on a Friday night. It was their off time, and they don't even work for me, some of these people. But they just jumped in and helped. They saw the seriousness of the situation, and I'm so grateful for their help. Before we could start, I briefed everybody on the dangers that we were facing. The lions could potentially get out and that we had to be super careful in all our moves. Stay away from the fence line as much as possible and don't do anything to antagonize them. While the guys were working, I was continually trying to chase the lions off the hole in the fence, which wasn't always working. I was armed with a paintball gun and other methods to keep them away from us. But I was determined not to let the situation go wrong. I wasn't going to get our lions out and I wasn't going to let them get hurt either because of this. While we were working, they continually tested us. They continually tested the fence. They were always looking for a gap, a way around, looking for something we weren't doing. It was surprising to see these lions like this. I'd never actually seen them test fences like this before. And to their credit, they knew something was up. They knew there was a problem. They could tell from our body language and the fact that we were working at night, there must be something different. So it was a very scary situation at the time. Looking back now, I'm not so worried anymore, but at that moment I was really in fear of something going wrong for both the lions and us. Just a note, we are working inside another lion camp that we haven't used. So I knew that if things did get bad, if we had to leave and close the gate, they would be stuck in another camp if they did get out. Well, the plan worked. We still have all our lions in the bums. You can see the males through there, just watching us through there. So the plan did work, luckily. All the lions are still inside. Let me show you what we had to do to keep them in.